No one expected this. Not after the injuries, not after the setbacks, not after the chaos of this season. But today, the San Francisco 49ers walked into Cleveland, a place they hadn't conquered since 1984, and walked out with a statement win, a commanding 26-8 reminder that this team is far from done. 13 weeks into the season, and suddenly the entire NFC has a brand new problem. The 49ers are heating up at the perfect time. Before we go deeper into what makes this victory so special, and why San Francisco might be entering the most dangerous phase of their season, take one quick second to subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon. It helps this channel grow, and it ensures you never miss a moment of Niners fire the rest of the year. Now, let's talk about what just happened. The 49ers enter their bye at 9-4. Let that sink in. This was the same team people expected to struggle, the same roster hit by injuries to stars like Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, the same squad that went through quarterback uncertainty when Brock Purdy missed 8 games. Anyone predicting they'd be fighting for the number 1 seed by the end of November would have been laughed at. And yet, here they are. This organization has refused to break. They've refused to fold. They've refused to believe the season was ever slipping away. Kyle Shanahan's coaching? Sharper than ever. The core players who survived the injury storm? Playing like they've got something personal to prove. And the record? It speaks louder than anything I can say. But here's the part that should scare the NFC the most. The 49ers aren't playing their best football yet. And look around. Who exactly is supposed to stop them? The Rams just lost as double-digit favorites, again. Philadelphia is collapsing in slow motion. The Bears are somehow the no. 1 seed in a year that feels upside down. And the AFC? Top to bottom, it's a mess. No giant. No dominant juggernaut. No guaranteed Super Bowl team. The league is wide open. Wide open. And the 49ers are stepping into that opening with power, with confidence, and with momentum that no one saw coming. Stay with me, because the real story starts now. The NFC doesn't make sense right now. 1 week a team looks unstoppable, the next week they look lost. Green Bay swings from brilliant to broken. Tampa hasn't played a complete game in weeks. Seattle always feels dangerous, yet Sam Darnold still has those moments where everything unravels. And Dallas? Somehow the most intimidating team in the conference, and somehow also outside the playoff picture if the season ended today. That's how strange this year is. That's how wide the door is for San Francisco. This chaos across the league is exactly why the 49ers' confidence is soaring. After the game, Kyle Shanahan didn't hide it. He said he loves where his team is right now, and honestly, he has every right to feel that way. This is what elite coaching looks like. Most teams would have folded weeks ago. San Francisco didn't flinch. They steadied themselves and kept moving forward because Shanahan and his staff refused to let the season slip. Robert Saleh's defense? Locked in. Reading offenses, punishing mistakes, and dictating tempo. And the special teams, once a glaring weakness, have completely flipped the narrative. Ever since that 87-yard return they gave up early in the season, they've been sharp, disciplined, and consistently giving the Niners an edge. The return game has juice, the punting has stabilized, and the coverage units aren't cracking under pressure anymore. Add all that up, and despite everything this team has endured, the 49ers are sitting in a spot most franchises would envy. Today's game proved exactly why. San Francisco didn't just beat Cleveland, they took advantage of every mistake the Browns made, and they turned their own big moments into points. No wasted opportunities. No dropped momentum. Just clean, decisive football. Think about the touchdowns. A huge punt return sets up a score. A fourth down defensive stand flips the field and leads to another. A muffed punt becomes an immediate strike to John Jennings. Every time the door cracked open, the 49ers kicked it wide. And every single touchdown came on third down, the exact area where Brock Purdy has been delivering quietly but consistently since his return. Yes, bad weather has haunted him in the past. Everyone knows the list: Cleveland, Green Bay, Buffalo, the rain games, the snow games. But today felt different. Today felt like a quarterback breaking old patterns and stepping into something stronger. And if that's where this is heading, the NFC might not be ready. Everyone remembers those games where Brock Purdy looked human: cold rain, slippery football, no grip, no zip, nothing working the way it should. He was fighting the weather more than the defense. And every time the conditions went bad, the same questions came back. Can he handle it? Can he throw through it? Can he win in it? Today, those questions finally got answers. In freezing temperatures, wet grass, and skies that looked ready to collapse, Purdy didn't flinch. He stepped in, pushed the ball downfield, and threw with confidence we simply haven't seen from him in weather like this. Those weren't safe throws. Those were statement throws. And spare me the "it's just the Browns" talk. Cleveland destroys quarterbacks. 19 sacks for Myles Garrett. Defensive speed everywhere. Jim Schwartz calling one of the toughest schemes in the league. They make elite players look uncomfortable every single week. But today, they didn't rattle Purdy. They didn't break the rhythm. And they didn't take over the game the way they usually do. Kyle Shanahan deserves credit for that, too. Historically, Schwartz has owned his offenses, held them to miserable point totals and forced him into check-down football. Not today. Today Shanahan flipped the script and finally cracked a coordinator he'd gone 1-8 against. The key? He kept Purdy on the move. He shifted the pocket, changed launch points, forced the Browns' pass rush to chase instead of attack straight ahead. Suddenly, Cleveland's biggest strength wasn't dictating the game anymore. And Purdy thrived in it. The read option touchdown? Perfect decision. The rocket to John Jennings on third down? A grown man throw. The deep strike to George Kittle before halftime? That's a quarterback trusting his arm, and whether that used to betray him. No, the stat sheet won't make headlines. But the film doesn't lie. Purdy played one of his sharpest games of the season. And the offensive line, though pressured plenty, did something most teams fail to do. They kept Myles Garrett from taking over the entire afternoon. One sack is not domination. That's simply superstar versus superstar. Garrett beats almost everyone eventually, and this might be the year he breaks Strahan's long-standing sack record. The Niners didn't let him control the game. They survived the pressure, doubled him when needed, and trusted Shanahan's pocket movement to slow down his impact. And in a matchup where the defensive line usually buries quarterbacks, Purdy walked out standing tall. This wasn't just execution. This was growth. Real, visible, undeniable growth. A few players quietly changed the tone of this game, even if their names won't lead the headlines. Spencer Burford held down the left guard spot with some surprisingly strong snaps. Keon White flashed explosiveness on the defensive front. And then there's Clelin Ferrell. 2 more sacks today, 3 in his last 2 games, and suddenly one of the most valuable under-the-radar additions on the entire roster. Maybe he didn't fit in Las Vegas. Maybe people wrote him off too quickly. But in this system, under these coaches, he looks reborn. San Francisco should be thinking seriously about keeping him around long-term as a weapon behind their star pass rushers. Some players need the right scheme, and he's clearly found his. Now let's zoom out. Because the real story isn't just who flashed today, it's the opportunity sitting right in front of this team. The NFC is a puzzle with no correct answer. Who's the top dog? Who's the team to beat? Who looks like a true Super Bowl favorite? Nobody. Every supposed powerhouse has cracks. Every contender has back-to-back games that make you hesitate. And every sure thing has already taken an embarrassing loss this season. The Rams were being crowned as the NFC's safest bet just this morning, and then they got dropped by the Panthers, the same Panthers San Francisco crushed a week ago. That's 2 massive upset losses for a team people keep insisting is stable. Chicago looks shiny at 9-3, but anyone watching closely knows their numbers don't support the record. Yes, they bulldozed Philadelphia on the ground and forced 26 turnovers this year, best in the league, but they're also one of the most statistically unimpressive 9-win teams we've seen in decades. 0 playoff experience, loads of inconsistency, and a resume that doesn't match the hype. Philadelphia? Started 8-2, now unraveling. Blew a 21-point lead to Dallas. Battered by the Bears. The offense looks stuck in mud. Tampa Bay just snapped a losing stretch but still looks shaky. Carolina is shockingly still alive for the division. Seattle beat Minnesota, But Minnesota is rolling out quarterbacks like they're on a conveyor belt. This is the field. This is the conference. This is the landscape San Francisco is walking into. So why can't the 49ers make a run? Why shouldn't they believe they can win the whole thing? No dominant team. No unbeatable giant. No clear favorite. In a season where every contender has shown flaws, the team that gets hot, stays disciplined, and avoids the collapse that everyone else is suffering from, that's the team that takes control of January. And right now, the 49ers are starting to look like that team. Seattle has the pieces to be dangerous. But every time the spotlight hits, Sam Darnold has one of those moments where everything slips. Green Bay owns an impressive record, yet you never know which version of that team is going to show up, the efficient juggernaut or the lost, scattered mess. I'd still take San Francisco head-to-head with them any day. Detroit and Dallas sit on the outside looking in, while the 49ers currently hold the final playoff spot at 9-4. Look at the standings. Bears at 1, Rams at 2, Eagles at 3, Buccaneers at 4, Seahawks 5, Packers 6, Niners 7. It's chaotic, unpredictable, and honestly wide open. But among those teams, one stands out. One feels like they're playing with real fire. Dallas. 3 straight wins. A defense transformed by the Quinnen Williams addition. An offense exploding with big plays. And yet, if the season ended tonight, they're not even in the postseason. That's how unforgiving this year has been. So the question becomes, what must the 49ers do to truly rise above the madness in the NFC? First, they need their offense to be sharp and aggressive. Not perfect, just fearless. Second, the defense needs to stay disciplined, especially against high-powered scoring teams. Third, they have to win the turnover battle. In January, that decides everything. They don't need flawless football, they just need elevated football. And with this coaching staff, that's absolutely possible. An upset in the wild card round? Very possible. A win in the divisional round? Not unrealistic. And if they reach the NFC Championship? All bets are off. Those games come down to inches, nerves, and heart. The 49ers have plenty of all three. And don't forget, if San Francisco earns a top 4 seed and gets a playoff game at Levi's Stadium, the energy in that building alone can shift momentum. Now, look at the remaining schedule. Niners sit at 9-4. Bye week, then Titans, Colts, Bears, Seahawks. The final stretch is tough, but not impossible. Tennessee is the one you should take care of, that gets you to 10 wins. Then what? The Colts have struggled for a month. Chicago, despite the record, is absolutely beatable. Seattle? You already handled them once. Compare that to Chicago's schedule, the hardest remaining slate of any NFC contender: Packers, Browns, Packers again, 49ers, Lions. They won't lose all of them, but that path is brutal. Green Bay is hunting them. Cleveland's defense is relentless. Detroit is unpredictable. And San Francisco is waiting for them too. The entire top of the NFC could shift in the next few weeks. One cold streak, one bad matchup, one injury, and the whole picture changes overnight. And in all this uncertainty, one truth keeps coming back: the 49ers are still very much in this fight. And now, this is where the NFC picture gets downright insane. That matchup against the Niners could literally swing a playoff spot. Then you look at Detroit and Chicago. They might be fighting for their season in the final week. And the Rams? Man, everyone thought Carolina would be their easy win. Instead, that loss might end up haunting them because the rest of their schedule is very manageable. Cardinals, Lions, Seahawks, Falcons, Cardinals. Those are games they can steal. That's why dropping the Panthers game was massive. The whole NFC West could come down to that rematch with Seattle. The Rams already took the first one. Then you shift to Tampa Bay. Their path? Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers again. 2 cracks at Carolina. Those could decide everything. I like Tampa in their divisional matchups, but you know how the NFC South goes. Chaos lives there. And Miami? They're heating up at the wrong time for Tampa. The Packers? Phew. Bears, Broncos, Bears again, Ravens, Vikings. That's not a walk in the park for anyone. Seattle's road: Falcons, Colts, Rams, Panthers, Niners. The schedule hasn't been brutal, but those final 2 road games, Panthers and Niners, could break their season if they slip even once. Then we arrive at the Cowboys. That showdown on Thursday against Detroit is enormous. The loser might fall out of the playoff race simply because the NFC is squeezing tight. And if the Eagles keep spiraling, Dallas could even slip into the division lead. Their slate? Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants. Mostly favorable, except for Detroit and the Chargers, who can punch you in the mouth if you're not ready. Detroit isn't safe either. Cowboys, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears. That's a gauntlet. No freebies there. So when I say the entire world is sitting right in front of the Niners, I'm not exaggerating. This isn't just about hanging around for a wild card spot. Depending on how the next few weeks shake out, they could push for a top 4 seed. Their record, their remaining schedule, and the brutality everyone else is facing, it all points to a race that's wide open. This is why the NFL owns Sunday. Every week turns the standings upside down. Tonight's game? No direct implications for the Niners, but still worth watching. Broncos versus Commanders. Washington is already done. Denver is sitting as the AFC's top seed. It's drama on a different track. And tomorrow, we roll into December. Already? Hard to believe we're here, but this is when the league gets wild, unpredictable, and unforgettable. Stay locked in. The next month is going to be incredible.